Welcome back for another video. In today's video I'll be running through the Gameweek29 Team Selection, transfer plans and thoughts heading into this game week. If you missed the who to buy video for Gameweek29, make sure you give that a watch too, a link will be on screen at the end. A quick thank you to the newest Patreons and YouTube members, Selim, Jason, Zelda, Paredes, Berilligum, Keita Start, Martin and Thomas. If you'd like to support me by becoming a patron or a YouTube member, the perks are the same, which includes early access to videos and a private channel on the Discord where I give team feedback. Links are in the description to both. And lastly, if you'd like to follow my team throughout the season, don't forget to hit subscribe. Just before we jump in, today's video is sponsored by Spitch, which is a free app on both iOS and Android. A link to the app's at the top of the description. Spitch complements FPL very well. You create a lineup within the budget and you score points based on how they do. What sets it apart is you pick a fresh team every game week, almost like having a wildcard every week, and on top of that you can win cash prizes. You can even join mid-game week, so if you miss the early kickoff you're fine. I love the concept as it's a lot more fun than putting a bet on a game. However, since you can play for money, it's 18 plus only. It also supports the channel, so give it a try and see what you think. Thank you again to Spitch. To download the app, simply hit the link at the top of the description. Enjoy the video. A quick look back at how Gameweek28 went. 85 points at the time of recording, which is enough for a green arrow to 322nd. A bittersweet haul from James, who was the transfer in, as we've since learned that he's expected to be out for Chelsea's next 4 matches with an injury. A real shame, as who knows how much higher we could have pushed up the ranks if he played the Norwich game. He could be back for Gameweek 31, but he's likely to leave the team as quickly as he came in, which we'll discuss more at the end. The single gamemakers did excellent, with Trent, Robertson and Son all returning. The benching decisions were perfect too, as Tierney was under consideration over Saka. Excluding James, we've got another 5 to play. As always, I will post my final team score on Twitter and Instagram after the game week wraps up, so make sure you give me a follow, links are in the description. Gameweek29 is another double game week, and there's decisions to be made off the back of James's injury. Onto the Gameweek29 team selection and transfer plans. Ramsdale returns to the starting 11 for the double game week with 2 home games against Leicester and Liverpool. Vardy has picked up another injury, so he'll be a huge miss for Leicester, who visit the Emirates off the back of 2 wins in a row. Despite a good run of games, Arsenal have conceded in their last 3 matches in a row against Watford, Wolves and Brentford. The first game against Leicester in particular, I'm hoping for a return, because you might have guessed the triple captain is active on a certain Liverpool player. Trent gets the vice captaincy for his games against Brighton and Arsenal, which is a defensive double up with Robertson. Over the season, Trent has an expected assist total of an astonishing 10.3, which is the highest in the league. Second highest is Bruno on 5.8 XA. He's created 16 big chances, which is also more than any other player. Despite the impressive numbers, Robertson's been the man in better form as of late, averaging 10.8 points per game since Gameweek 22. At this point in the season, if you've already wildcarded, many of the players who you own or bring in are season keepers, and that's certainly the plan with Trent and Robbo. Liverpool are still in all competitions, which is something we'll need to be mindful of if Tsimikas starts to get minutes in the league further down the line. Tierney starts, who has the double game week with Ramsdale. He's another player who may end up a season keeper, as Arsenal's fixtures for the remainder of the season are good. Arsenal could double in Gameweek 33, so the plan is to keep hold at least until the fixtures are announced, as we've only got 1 free hit left, with Gameweek 33 and 36 expecting to be the 2 major double game weeks remaining. James has become an immediate problem after picking up an injury that will rule him out until after the international break. If we didn't have the blank game week 30, it's an easy decision to keep hold, though in my case we've got the double game week in 29 and the blank in 30, so we'll most likely need to shift him on straight on for a defender who plays in both 29 and 30. The triple captainship is active on Salah. It's Judgment Day, or week after using the wildcard rather than a triple captain back in Gameweek 26. It looks like totally the wrong decision with the power of hindsight. However, if Salah scores big in this double, then it will soften the blow. Unsurprisingly, Salah is top for predicted points for Gameweek 29, and you'd be brave to bet against him. Rafinha faces Norwich at home. It was remarkable that he blanked in the Leicester game, and at the time of recording he is the biggest XG underperformer of Gameweek 28, failing to score despite an XG of 0.96. Leeds are just 2 points adrift from Burnley in the relegation zone, though Burnley have a game in hand. Norwich look all but relegated, so this is simply a must-win game, and hopefully Rafinha can pay us for his underperformance in Gameweek 28. Son has a double game week against Man United and Brighton, both games away. Spurs have ran hot and cold recently, beating Man City, battering Leeds and Everton, but losing to the likes of Middlesbrough and Burnley. At the opposite end of the table, it's another must-win game in the first of their double. Spurs are 2 points below Man United, who sit 5th, so a win will leapfrog them in the table. Brighton haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 4 games, conceding 9 goals over that run, and they have given up 11 big chances, which ranks 17th. If Son finds himself on the end of a big chance, you'd back him to convert. Kane's been excellent recently too, but there's no room to fit him in the team, and Spurs of course don't blank in Gameweek 30, so it's a great game week to bring in a Spurs player. Saka is my favourite pick of the Arsenal mids. Odegaard and Martinelli are great value too, but Saka now has 8 goals and 6 assists over the season, and he is the top scorer in Arsenal player. Leicester have been woeful defensively this season, in part due to injuries, and they're still missing a number of players. The Liverpool game will be a very tough one, but a player of his quality stands a chance against anyone. It's always tricky when you've got a mid or a forward against your defenders, as an attack in return negates the clean sheet points, so it's something we try to avoid, but in a double game week it's no problem at all. Weghorst faces Brentford on the road. He's still in the team from their disappointing Gameweek 27, and he makes his way into the starting 11 due to a number of issues on the bench. Burnley will be particularly motivated with an opportunity to get outside the relegation zone, and Dyche has been here before and got results. If Burnley can get a result, you'd back their main man to be involved, so I don't mind starting him if required. Broja completes the starting 11, who's yet to net since we brought him in, blanking in his last 4 games despite some good fixtures. After Gameweek 31, Southampton face Chelsea and Arsenal, which are the type of games you can bench him if required, and at his price point it's a non-issue. On the bench it's Dubravka, Bowen, Jimenez and Saiss. If we get news that Bowen is fit and available for selection, then he likely joins the starting 11 in Weghorst's place. Jimenez is a real problem as he appears to be out of favour recently. That said, I wouldn't be surprised if he's back in the starting 11 for the Watford game, as Wolves haven't got any better while he's been benched. If he does start and they get a result, then we just need him to remain a starter for Gameweek 30, where as it stands we have 8 playing. As mentioned earlier, the James injury has completely disrupted the transfer plans. I was considering Kulusevski if Bowen has a long-term injury. However, with James missing the next 2, the transfer plan is to sell him for Doherty. He's been absolutely flying the last couple of game weeks, scoring 18 and 14 points. On top of that, Spurs have a double Gameweek 29 and they play in Gameweek 30, so we effectively gained 3 fixtures over James's 0. If Bowen's expected to be available for Gameweek 30, this puts us on 9 players, with a -4 taking us to a full 11. As always, I'll post my final team on the channel and on Twitter, and if you'd like to follow my team throughout the season, don't forget to hit subscribe. For now, that concludes today's video. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments how your Gameweek 28 went and what your plan is for Gameweek 29. And lastly, please remember to like the video and hit subscribe to support the channel. See you soon for the next one.